What's up, Tilray traders and investors? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Happy Friday. It's August 30th, a long weekend as well. Hope you're doing awesome. In this video, we're going to take a look at the TLRY chart. We're going to compare it to the rest of the sector. It's actually showing in a price drop that pretty much across the whole sector. In a price drop across the whole sector, it's been brutal, but there's actually some patterns that are starting to emerge, and this is why I've been saying for a while now. It has to be at least a couple of months. I've been saying that I expected some choppy action into the fall, likely September, end of September, starting in October is when we'd really start to show some more momentum going back to the bulls. And I thought that there was a potential for one more leg down, and that's what we've been seeing ever since the rescheduling got delayed because of the fact that they're going to have a hearing, right? That's going to be on December 2nd. I've already done a video on that. But essentially, I mentioned in that live stream, when I discussed that news, I mentioned that could actually turn out to be a positive thing. While it sucks, we have to wait. It's actually moving along very, very quickly. So we're going to take a look at a golden cross on the chart as well. There's some bullish patterns that are emerging on the chart, and we're going to compare it to MSOS as well, because Tilray is actually starting to show some strength in the charts. And as the saying goes, show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. I think there's going to be some massive momentum over the next couple of months, and I would imagine it's going to be some sort of news. I think we're going to see their drink formulation soon with the Delta 9 hemp line. So we're going to see their drinks enter Texas and New Jersey to start, and then more than likely it'll go across pretty much half of the U.S., right? Look at Cureleaf. They launched in 25 states, so it'll be something similar. Before we get to it, though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Also launched memberships and member-only videos, so shout out to all the new members. Super grateful for all of the support. Really do appreciate it. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. And something very interesting about this is they're going to be launching, X is actually planning on launching a YouTube competitor app. So can't wait for that. All right, jumping into the chart. So Tilray, over the last, we'll say August 19th is basically where I went from. We're down just under 16%, just about 16%. If we take a look at MSOS over the same period, MSOS is actually down over 22%, which it's an ETF that tracks all of the major US MSOs. So all these big companies in the US, when an ETF is down that much, that is not very common, right? That's not what we want to see at all, right? Usually ETFs drop like a few percent, but when you're in an industry so nascent like this and, very disruptive, and there's still so much reform and so many growth catalysts and so much growth ahead, it gets ridiculous to the downside, just like it does the upside, right? Some of these names, when we get rescheduling and we get, banking, when we get, if we get Florida on the ballot, all these catalysts, right? Germany fast tracking Pillar 2, the rest of the EU, we get the US finally legalized. There's going to be so much hype in this sector. So while it's brutal, the US MSOs got hit harder, obviously, because rescheduling was getting delayed. And then some are now starting to fear that it's not going to happen. I think it'll happen, but obviously the U.S. companies are going to benefit the most from the removal of 280E. It doesn't really benefit some of these LPs, right? So that's why I think they were dropping harder. But if you take a look at the whole sector, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the U.S. or not in the U.S. or affected by rescheduling or not affected by it. It doesn't matter if you're profitable or unprofitable. A lot of these companies, it's just you're in the same sector, so you trade the same. That's just the way it goes, right? Boom and bust cycles. And if we take a look at from 2021 to the highs of that run, a lot of these LPs started to pull back, and we'll just bring up MSOS actually here and on the monthly time frame. And I want to look at some of these daily bear flags. But, if we look at the February 2021 highs, everybody said, don't own any Canadian companies. They're trash. The only thing worth owning is USMJ, right? And then it pulled back 91%. So it can happen even if you're profitable, right? So again, it doesn't matter, the percentages on a weekly basis or even on a monthly basis. When in doubt, zoom out. If you look at the yearly chart, they all look very similar. And given enough time, it starts to, the whole sector just moves in tandem, right? It follows one another. So if we take a look at MSOS here on the daily time frame, yes, we did have a pretty sizable bounce there off of the low, but we're starting to see USMJ a lot weaker than Canadian MJ, and Tilray itself is looking pretty good. But I wanted to show MSOS here because on the daily time frame, it's a daily bear flag. A lot of people are saying that, it was a nice recovery. Getting a lot of people asking me if it was a good time to buy. I think, I don't think MSOS is going to go below $5. If it does, it's going to be very short-lived. And sure enough, we hit 599. We're still holding that, and we have 2 daily bear flags that are confirming one after the other. You can see here this was our first one, and the measured move on that was 537. We hit 599. We knew this all the way back here to be looking at a bear flag targeting there, and then it played out, right? And so show me the chart, I'll tell you the news. Same thing. We got the news of the rescheduling delayed, but we already knew to be looking for a bear flag. That's why it's nice to use technical analysis, because it's not a guarantee, but you can start to plan for that, right? And then it's pretty cool whenever it all aligns to a new news catalyst or event or something like that too, right? It's like, oh, I already knew that. I was looking at the chart and it was telling me we could see another leg down. So that's why I said for many months, or for at least a few weeks now, that we could see another leg down. I think it's been a couple of months. And if we just take a look here in the daily time frame, there's another one forming. So if we don't get over 667, then it's a potential bear flag. In order to negate it, we need to get over 667. We won't expect another leg down. But if we do lose 599, that will confirm it with a lower high and a lower low, and that's your bear flag right there. You just take your move from the high to the low, move it out to your 0.382 fib, and it's saying we're targeting about 512. So it's all about 599 here in the short term. So enough about MSOS, but we'll take a look at Tilray. So Tilray on the daily time frame, again, it has pulled back substantially, but on the weekly time frame, we're actually gearing up for an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, and this video is just more for comparing against MSOs in the sector. But if we take a look at MSOS, it actually just had a bear cross. So the 12 period was above the 26 period. So when the shorter term is above the longer term, that's a bear cross. When it's below the longer term, then it's a bull cross. So bear cross occurred, and if you take a look at Tilray, it's got a weekly bull cross lining up, and then if we take a look at Tilray divided by MSOS, which just means comparative, the strength comparative to MSOS, instead of in denominated US dollars, we can see here that we're actually trending higher with a nice daily uptrend. And then if you zoom out to the weekly, we're also in a weekly uptrend. And we'll just reset this view. So you can see here your low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low. We were in an equilibrium there, and then we broke bullish, and then we formed another higher low and higher high. So we're above this key resistance here at 28 cents, and we're seeing an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross here on the weekly time frame as well. So it's looking pretty good, and I think that we could start to see Tilray see some news. It could be the hemp drinks as well, but this yellow line right here on the monthly time frame is the brick wall of resistance to break. Look how many times we've rejected from it. It's been the last 3.5 years essentially since we confirmed the monthly downtrend with a lower high, lower low. So if we can see a monthly candle close over that, preferably 2 or 3. You want to see 3 for confirmation, but I would say even if we get 2, I would say that the bottom is in, and I think the broader market's going to be very strong. The S&P 500 toward the end of October and into the elections, right? It's election year. Usually Q4 is good for the stock market, and October as well. So historically speaking, into an election year, it's looking really, really good. Rates were just cut. They could start printing money again. We could see one final blow off top, and actually, now that I think of it, SPY is actually a daily bull flag. I want to show you this as well. So you can see here this huge move off of the low, right? 510, and we came within like $1 of all-time highs. So we're knocking on the door of all-time highs right now, but I'll just draw this out for you. So on the daily time frame here, you can see this move up to the high there. We're expecting a potential daily bull flag, and it actually did confirm. So now we just need to break the all-time high resistance there at 565.16. It says we're targeting about 597. So it's looking good here on SPY as well. So we should get some tailwinds there. But again, Tilray starting to heat up. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see Tilray start to outperform the sector here. But it's all about that EMA 12 on the monthly at 211. See a couple candle closes over that, and I think we're off to the races. Then it's EMA 26 back test there at 401. And then on the weekly time frame, we actually had a POW algo buy alert go off on Tilray. It was a medium to long-term bullish evidence. So that's usually weeks and months worth of evidence, right? It's not talking about days. It's talking about weeks and months when it's medium to long-term, right? So as of right now, we just closed below the 10-week moving average, but the MACD and the stochastic are still bullish. So not too concerned. We want to see a rebound here soon, but like I said, if SPY's at daily bull flag, that could bode well for TLRY bulls as well. And these weekly moving averages, we're still below the 50 weekly, so we need to get above that one at 193. Then we have 232 there, the 100, and then nothing nearby until 657. And then last but not least is the golden cross. So we have the 50-day moving average below the 200-day moving average. They're set to cross here, I would say, in the next couple of weeks. And if we take a look at MSOS, it actually just had a death cross. So it's quite a ways away before we see a bull cross there and a golden cross there on MSOS. And if you take a look at a name like GTBIF, we're just seeing the golden or the death cross play out. And then SNDL has yet to see its death cross, but it very well could. What's another one? High Tide. I think it had a death cross. Yeah, it's very close to seeing it. So we could see a little bit more sector weakness over the next week or so. And then I think we should start to rebound from there into the fall. That seasonality effect out of the summer low. Drop off, sell them, may go away type of mentality, right? But it's looking like we could see, maybe another week or so of chop and weakness in the sector and sell pressure. But I think, into the end of September and into October is when we're going to really start to see the show begin. So it's looking really, really good here. Like I said, we're starting to see signs that Tilray could start to outperform the sector, and it's more than likely going to be on some sort of news. We know Erwin Simon's been talking about Canada switching from a flat fee to a percentage fee in terms of excise taxes. Why would he be talking about that if he didn't hear it from someone in government? I would think he must have. But regardless, at the end of the day, I think the wait is almost over. I do think we could see $3 to $4, maybe even $5 before the end of the year. If not, 2024, then maybe, the first quarter of 2025. And their financials are really starting to heat up in a big way as well. So like I said, watch out for those Delta 9, the hemp drinks formulation. We should see those soon, and entry into the U.S. And there's so many other things. Number one in Germany, right? It's got all these new cultivation license under the new regulations. So it's got a huge head start as well on Germany, looking to fast track Pillar 2. And I think we're going to see Florida pass adult use. There's a lot to look forward to. The political campaigns are probably going to start pumping MJ like you wouldn't believe. We should see Trump come out with some sort of comment on Florida. And Amendment 3, adult use legalization there, I think is going to be in favor for it. So things are heating up. Like I said, just be patient for a little bit longer. I don't think we have to wait too much longer. I think it's going to be a few weeks. Doesn't mean Tilray's going to the moon, right? It's not going to go to $50 or $100 in the next couple of weeks, or the next, maybe not even in 25, right? It's probably going to be in 2026, 2027, maybe even beyond, when the U.S. legalizes and we see, the rest of the EU, Germany, excise tax improvement, all these major catalysts, uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ for these U.S. names. Again, it's not really affecting Tilray, but it benefits from the sector hype, just like it does not benefit from it's not immune to the sector weakness when we had that rescheduling news. Yes, it affects the U.S. names the most, but again, Tilray's in the sector, so it gets hit. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. We'll continue the conversation there. Hope you have a great long weekend ahead. Again, it's Rod with the Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.